On it, you got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com. On this beautiful Thursday, April 10th. Good morning, Rico.
Good morning.
Good morning, Emil.
Hey, good morning, man.
Good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. What a great show lined up for you today. Gonna have Weirdo popping in a little bit later. Got tons of tickets to give away, and we're gonna get to all that here shortly. But I want to start off with a crazy top story here, right before Coachella weekend. You know, there's plenty of bands that are performing this year's Coachella. When I say bands, I mean, you know, EDM overlords who press play and the kids dance too all hours long. But then, you know, there are musicians and icons like Weezer. Will Weezer go on and play this weekend's Coachella? It's kind of up in the air right now because of something that happened yesterday, which is insane. So Weezer's bassist, whose name is Scott Schreiner, which a lot of people don't know off the top of their head. When they think Weezer, they think Rivers Cuomo.
Yep.
Now, Scott Schreiner's wife was shot by police and arrested yesterday for attempted murder.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun. And you're like, what in the actual F is going on? The story is even weirder than the headline would even allude to. Like, it all started with a hit-and-run accident in Los Angeles.
Hit.
Yeah. Is that a Weezer song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go.
3 suspects got out of the car and they fled the police. They fled from the police on foot, right? Okay, now, Scott Schreiner's wife was not one of the hit-and-run suspects, which is, again, this is weird. So these guys are running, and they ended up in a residential neighborhood. That's when cops approached the back of the home where one of the suspects had been seen running, and that's when Jillian Schreiner, Scott Schreiner's wife, appeared in the yard of her own home next door, brandishing a handgun.
Whoa.
So basically, you tread on my land, I'm going to shoot you kind of thing, right? So protecting her property, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this scenario, common misunderstanding. I think somebody's trying to run through my property, and they look like criminals, so I have my kids here. I want to protect them with my gun. Yeah, okay, that's the American way. But then cops are like, hey, put the gun down. And she's like, F you, cops. No. Like, what?
Damn.
Why? Like, and this is where it gets confusing, right? So the cops are like, got her surrounded, and they're asking her numerous times, woman, beautiful, hot Los Angeles soccer mom, please put down the 9mm handgun. And she would not do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the point of that, though?
This is where
It's so ridiculous.
This is where the mystery begins, because I do not have an answer for you right now.
She's
Okay,
got that Weezer arrogance.
yeah. So not only did she not put down,
You know how my husband is.
yeah, not only did she not put down the weapon, she pointed it at the officers, and then they shot her in the shoulder. Now they gave her like $1 million wound, right? They shot her in a place that they knew that it would not be a fatal wound, right in the shoulder.
You rarely hear about that, too.
Oh, I know. Well,
really?
you know, that's a privilege, right? You know, that's a
Go
whole.
for the shoulder.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
focus on the story, but we
Big
know.
fans of the Blue Album. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, pretty white woman in Los Angeles. Don't kill her, but definitely make sure she drops that gun. Now, it's unclear if she fired at them, but Rolling Stone referred to the confrontation as a shootout. So we'll
Damn.
see. This story is still developing, but this is how hardcore Jillian was. She gets shot in the shoulder, then runs back into her house, chills there for about a half hour, and then with her babysitter inside, because she had a babysitter inside, a female babysitter, and then agreed to go back outside the house and surrender. Then she was taken to the hospital where she was treated for a gunshot wound and booked on an attempted murder charge. And this is all before Weezer is supposed to perform at Coachella this weekend.
She should open for them.
My God. Unfortunately, she's got
crazy.
previous plans there, Rico. You know, it's insane. And I'm going to show you some photos here that you'll be able to see on the podcast broadcast when we play this back as our show open.
That is wild.
Here at 9 a.m. It is wild. Here's her.
Damn.
Now, keep in mind, she shot at this point, and she got her hands down. She is a beautiful woman, as you would assume. Being a rock star wife. That's Jillian. Got a special kind of crazy in her.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the babysitter. Again,
Oh,
hot.
jeez.
Hot. This is going to be some kind of movie or Netflix deal, right? This has to be because the people involved are too attractive, and it's a mystery. It is a mystery, to say the very least. There's a picture of her on her social media at the shooting range, so she knows how to handle a weapon.
Well, she was just waiting, baby.
She wanted a reason. 51 years old. 51 years old. A gorgeous, basically soccer mom, and gets holds up police and gets in a shootout with police in a crime that she didn't commit in the first place. Because as of right now, there is no word or speculation that the original reason why cops even were in the area had anything to do with her whatsoever. So the three guys that ran from police for a hit and run, they didn't know her, right? They just ran in that area. And if I'm those three guys, how thankful are you for Jillian here? Because then the cops stop looking for your ass.
They got somebody else now.
Yeah. They get I have to now defend my life.
Yeah, a little
for this,
too convenient.
Yeah, this crazy woman. I don't know if I want to shoot her or if I want to bang her or if I want to do both. It's crazy.
I wonder if this is a car chase that I watched last night, though. I watched one on YouTube. It was maybe around 11 o'clock, though. Was it a pretty late? Do you know anything about this?
No, this happened in the afternoon,
Oh,
dude.
it was a different
This
one.
is a daytime. So, and there's another
I'm like, is
scenario.
this your nighttime
It
relaxation?
kind of is, though. Right?
Car chases on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Smoking skin on
That's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, no, this happened in the middle of the day, so even more reason why there should be no confusion as to why police are in that area, and something as simple as put the gun down when multiple police officers are pointing it at you and you did nothing wrong.
Right.
There should have been no reason for her not to do that, but for whatever reason she stood her ground, she effed around, and she found out.
Yeah.
And now she's being charged with attempted murder, and it had nothing to do with the original crime. So as the story develops, we'll keep you updated on that, but that is just crazy.
I would pay a small fee to hear the audio from that exchange.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure within the next day or two, it'll come out.
Yeah.
All right. So great show lined up for you today. Murder mysteries galore, stupid criminals, and more. And of course, we have tickets to give away. I'll be giving away those Breaking Ben tickets this morning in the 8 o'clock hour, or maybe even the 7 o'clock hour. Keep listening for your opportunity to get those winner before you buy them tickets for Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. We also have a VIP upgrade tickets for the KFMA 3-Way on April 18th. You want to go to that. That's going to be a blast. And on top of that, I'm going to kick things off with a $20 gift card to Tucson Games and Gadgets right now to caller number 10. All right, so 600 KFMA, 605-362. Kicking things off with a winner this morning on the show. Call now, good luck. We got music on the way from Nothing More. Kicking things off with The Offspring. It's Gotta Get Away on Rock 102.1 KFMA. You know the name of the show, Tucson. Let's go! Yeah. Do you like how I looked away? What's going on? Why can't I see my? There we are.
There we are.
All right. You like how I look away? I'm like Tucson. Wait for it.
Winding up.
Wait for it. Let's go. Hey, good morning. Okay, so that was our show open this morning talking about Weezer Wife. And apparently there's a backstory to Miss Weezer Wife that Weirdo knows all about. And I want to know
my
about
God.
it.
Right. So I saw this headline, a lot of people kind of last night, and then you talked about it again this morning. And I'm just like, okay, who is this chick? Right. Because I get frustrated when women, it's all the headlines are always led into they're the wife of somebody, the mother of somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I knew that this chick was an author. So I was like, okay, let me dive into this. And holy God. First of all,
what was she write?
So I'm going to work backwards. So in 2021, she released a memoir called Confronting a Serial Killer, which is about Samuel Little, who is probably one of the most prolific serial killers in history.
Okay.
He's been convicted of 8 murders, but it's pretty good chance that he actually committed 93 murders between 1970 and 2005. And she actually got to interview him face to face. And in the book, she delves into the psyche and all of that. And then it actually became a 5-part documentary series.
Okay.
So
okay.
so she's done some work on her own.
So
okay?
she's successful in her own right, which is crazy
Yeah.
too, because Scotty's probably a good guy,
Yeah.
you know, talented and stuff.
Right, but he's
let's-
the bassist of Weezer. He's not even the original bassist. He joined the band in like 2003.
Right.
Let me keep working backwards.
Okay.
Okay. So she also published a memoir called Some Girls, My Life in a Harem.
Okay.
And I'm like, what is this about? So when she was like 19 years old, she goes out to a casting call, right? Because she was doing like theater and all that in college. And she was offered $20,000 to go to a party in Brunei.
Just to go to the party.
Just to go to a party to
Wow.
kind of be extra entertainment, right? For these wild, lavish parties.
Okay.
She ended up staying there for 18 months and was part of the harem of the Prince Jeffrey Bokai, who was the brother of the Sultan of Brunei. So she was a call girl escort,
Wow.
right?
From author to call girl escort, but she was call girl escort before she was an author.
Correct.
Okay, so
yeah,
'cause we're
so she was there for a year and a half, and
Wow.
kind of like at first she was just kind of going with it. She was this free spirit. She's a rebellious daughter. She, she was adopted. She had all these problems.
She's making money.
But yeah,
Adopted.
So she details this in her memoir from 2010, and it talks about describing the opulent lifestyle, the dynamics among the women in the harem, and her personal journey during that period. Now I did look up Prince Jeffrey Bokai. Like, yeah, he has fathered some 30 plus children.
Yeah.
He
if you're a
had
prince
7
and you have a
wives.
harem, yeah, then you're
Yeah.
going to procreate.
You got to
for
pump
sure.
those numbers up.
Yeah,
Those are rookie
so-
numbers.
Yeah, those are rookie numbers considering how many he had. Let's get on the air. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That was Disturbed. New music from them. I Will Not Break. We have Nirvana on the way. And on the podcast broadcast, we did our show open today talking about the crazy story about Jillian Lauren, who is Scott Schreiner's wife. Scott Schreiner, the bassist of Weezer, who are performing this weekend and next weekend at Coachella, so far as we know. And of course, if you don't know, then there was an altercation with police that Jillian had that was odd to begin with, but she came out brandishing a 9mm weapon, pointing at the cops, wouldn't refuse to drop the weapon, so the cops shot her. She is now, in the hospital, recovering from that gunshot wound, being charged with attempted murder and more. But her backstory is fascinating. Weirdo went down the rabbit hole of Jillian and her life leading up to that of just hot soccer mom that loves guns.
Right, married to a rock star, actually adopted 2 boys, total soccer mom, 100%, and then suddenly she's in the limelight, accused of attempted murder. This is wild.
Yeah, so we're talking about that on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. So far we know that she was an author of a book and a miniseries of serial killer. And before that, she was part of a harem where she was a lover of a Saudi prince, one of many. And that's just scratching the surface. So we'll talk more about that, youtube.com/beefvegan. You can join us there if you want to hear more about that story. We got a confession session and more coming up this hour. Keep it right here on Rock 102.1. Here's In Bloom by Nirvana. It's the podcast broadcast. Can I say podcast broadcast again? Should I say podcast
course.
broadcast again? Branding.
In my
Weirdo,
mind-
Rico, beef.
In my mind with this story so far, I'm seeing the image, and she's laying down and sprawled with the cops over her
Yeah.
on the ground. I want to hear the narration from her head go, "You probably wonder how I got here."
Right.
Yeah.
Just all this crazy shit that's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. And I see you, Derek. Let's say
crazy.
hi to Derek real quick. I'm just going to pop you in real quick, and I'll pop you backstage again. He's like, no. But
What
yeah.
up?
No, I wanted
What
just
up?
to check the levels there. Just say hi.
Hi.
All right. Yeah,
Low levels.
Yeah, well, that's good. We'll fix your levels here in a second. We'll continue this. We'll pop you back in. So stick around. All right. So Derek's on for a reason. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But okay, continue with this saga of Lauren here.
Okay, so obviously, this whole thing, first of all, being part of a harem and, what is this all about? So I looked into Jeffrey Bokai. This guy, he's also insane. He's had a crazy political career and also did, race car driving. I mean, just a bunch of FU money, right?
Yeah.
That he's inherited and everything. And so, yeah, he had a harem of women, and he would host all these lavish parties. So that's kind of how she got snaked into it, because it was a $20,000 offer just to go spend 2 weeks and be extra entertainment at these crazy lavish parties. And yeah, she was stuck there for 18 months, where at first she was kind of like, all right, let's see where this goes. And then she does document in the book, Some Girls, My Life in a Harem, about getting out and getting back to the States. And since then, she's written other books. So she did have the interview with Samuel Little, confronting a
I do
serial
recall
killer.
this. Behold the monster. There's the killer right
Yeah,
there. That's
exactly.
insane,
Yeah, the fact that again, she had face to face. This wasn't just her kind of like, researching and interviewing victims. No, like she was face to face with that serial killer.
Well, yeah, once you bang a prince in an orgy, then there's nothing that you fear.
Right. This woman is tough as nails. So like, as I was reading all this, I'm like, so it's no wonder that maybe she had a little bit of paranoia of like crazy stories about people posing as cops, and she's thinking she needs to defend her property.
Yes and no, though. You still listen to the cops as far as, dropping a weapon. And it just says here, the 51-year-old shared a few weeks ago that she had cancer, was undergoing treatment. So she's undergoing cancer treatment as well during all this. And,
My God.
Yeah,
this needs to be like a Netflix like miniseries. Because not just about this incident, maybe, again, starting it off of like, I wonder how I got here. Let's rewind the tape.
Don't do that.
And
Don't start off with that.
No, I
with
know,
that
but
Pinball Wizard soundtrack.
Yeah, no, not literally, but again, that kind of like back and forth of like, how did this woman get here? But yeah, now to find out that she's also like battling cancer.
You wonder why I'm attempting to kill cops right now. I'm going to tell you the story.
You might have some questions.
His name was Jeff. Prince from...
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. So amazing life, and it's crazy. And it's, I mean, obviously, as this story is developing.
And she's lucky she's alive.
Yes.
For God's
yeah,
sakes.
100%.
Well, they gave her the courtesy.
The rich people courtesy.
Yes, they did. And, that was a good shot by whoever shot that,
Or a
but,
bad shot if he missed.
well, yeah, he's like, I was going for the dome. I was going for the headshot. Got the shoulder. No, it seemed like I said, again, based off the area that they were in and, her probably yelling out that she's a homeowner or whatever. I'm just assuming in this situation, she comes out brandishing a gun and a little bit of entitlement in a way, it would seem. And there's at this point, no word whether she had any affiliation with the carjackers in question that led the high-speed chase to her house. So, yeah.
Or the cop had tickets to see Weezer at Coachella. He's like, I got to see the show, man. I can't kill her.
Yeah, can't kill her. Yeah, because he'll definitely be out if she's dead.
Well, and how I found out about it was like I just was kind of scrolling on Facebook for a few minutes before bed, and the original headline was wild.
Yeah,
It was
here, let's
so
get on
confusing.
Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're just kind of, going down the rabbit hole of the wife of Scott, the bassist for Weezer, and still wondering if Weezer's going to perform at this weekend and next weekend's Coachella. It's a big money payday and very last second to get a replacement, but I'm sure they could find a replacement if that's the case. What was the headline that you said that you read right before you went to bed that was wild?
So basically, it was like wife of Weezer guitarist. And then it was like, comma, like high-speed chase ends up with her being accused of murder. Like, it was all these left
Too
turns of
much.
like, hold on, are these like a lot of typos? Because then somebody had reshared it basically. And it was like, I'm actually here for the comments. And just, of course, the internet delivered like they always do with the comment section and quoting songs and all these different, it was fantastic. But I was like, oh my God, we better talk about this tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're Weezer, what song are you opening up with at Coachella this weekend? A cover of I Shot the Sheriff? Yeah, that's a tough call. In fact, actually, the person with the best answer at 600 KFMA is going to get a pair of VIP upgrade tickets for the KFMA Day three-way at the Pima County Fair on Friday, April 18th. So there's some listener bait if you come up with a better suggestion than us, because we had nothing. But, what song should Weezer, if they decide to play, open up their Coachella set with after all the events that are unfolding here right now. Now, as we know, and we discovered that she is actually battling cancer at this time too, so 0 Fs to give, but she is recovering in the hospital. How crazy would it be if they ended up shooting out the cancer?
Ooh,
yeah.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. Well, I mean, weirder things have happened when it comes to that. So you're like, I had cancer and I had a tumor growing in my right shoulder, and then the cop just blew it out. It's a miracle.
Come on and shoot me. Whoa, you got your problems.
Whoa.
All right. Let's get into a confession session as we hit a hard reset on this. We will go down the rabbit hole more with that on the podcast broadcast. But Weirdo has been receiving a bunch of anonymous emails at weirdo@kfma.com. This is where she'll share your confessions. Even if you're Weezer bassist wife. And, of course, we might even give you some advice along the way. So let's get into our first email here, Weirdo. What do you got?
Says, my new girlfriend has not been around my apartment yet. I am not sure what to do about my quite expensive life-size realistic sex doll. Not exactly something you can pop on eBay secondhand.
Oh, I got a spare room. I'll house it for you.
Right? That's what I was
Just
thinking. I
saying.
was like, dude, like, I mean, girls can get snoopy, but like, I think you could probably put it in the back of your closet and cover it with a blanket. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, dude, because I do have that gift that I got from Adult Expectations in my closet. And I'm not in a relationship now, but if I did get into another living situation, I would be like, how do I get rid of this without getting caught, right? I've had some pretty weird things found in my closet with different, people moving in over the years as well. So
You're going to have to hire somebody to come in and take it out for you.
the cleaner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, get rid of all your...
Just store this in your trunk real quick.
Yeah.
Just park in the shade so she doesn't melt.
The problem is, though, with these lifelike sex dolls and stuff, it does look like a body then. So you have to
Right.
remove it at a time where either you're going to be overly transparent, like in the middle of the day and be like, don't worry, just a doll,
Right,
everyone.
right.
And I put it in my trunk, or you do it in the middle of the night and still you look suspicious like you're
Right.
trying to
Yeah,
get rid of a
well,
That
body.
one
100%.
neighbor.
What? And they weigh like 80 or 90 pounds. They're
Sometimes
not
more.
light. Yeah.
Depends on your model. If you go for the Lizzo model, it's going to be a little bit extra.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, yeah, to each his own.
I always wondered where the fire department got those dummies from.
Yeah.
Those leftover, like disposed ones. We're using this.
They're part of a recycle program.
Right?
So many times. So interesting dilemma that you have there. Thank you for the confession. What's the next email you got?
One time at church camp, I pretended to be demon possessed so the super hot youth pastor would put his hands on me.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Wow, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exercise those demons, huh? Yeah, I hear the best way to get a demon out is to cup the breasts.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. And actually,
This
youth
is getting
count-
weird because this is youth camp. But
Yeah, I forgot
yep,
the
yep,
youth.
yep.
I forgot the youth part.
Forgive
Okay,
me,
first off,
forgive
I only
me.
give exorcisms to people over the age of 25. You have to be able to rent a car for you to get exercised by me, priest beef, and then
Okay,
beyond that.
but to be fair, okay, so this is going to surprise a lot of people, but I was a what would Jesus do kind of girl. I was a youth group leader. I taught Sunday school, went to church camp every year, the whole bit, and 100% I had the biggest crush on the praise the worship team.
Okay.
The lead singer, Devin, shout
Yeah.
out. He still lives in Tucson. I talk to him occasionally. So hot.
Yeah.
That was probably my first real adult crush of somebody I knew.
You would do cardinal sins with them?
No, he was like 23 and I was
Okay.
like 14.
Oh, it's a crush, but okay.
Yeah, no,
when you
huge
became
crush.
23. Okay.
Crush, but so I could see this girl absolutely doing that, being like, you know what, you just got to pray for me, just, a little
Just
lower,
pray.
just a little lower.
Yeah, that is too funny. And it doesn't surprise me at all that you were a church because you rebel so hard that literally your Instagram handle is weirdo_666.
Yes,
so
sir.
yeah, that's only a church kid would do. I didn't grow up religious, and
I
at the
have-
same time, I don't covet the 666.
I have 2 Bible verses tattooed on my body.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people don't know that.
No, that's good, and that's good for your lovers. They get to catch up on some light reading while doing whatever.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, I would like more recipes. Give me a nice little a recipe for chicken piccata
Tortellini,
on the
alright.
thigh or something. Yeah,
like
I don't know.
on my lower stomach, I have one of those video game cheat codes.
Oh yeah,
Up, down, up,
yeah.
down.
up, down,
Yep,
up, down.
there you go.
Code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were to use that code per se in action, is that the cheat code to the O?
That's why I got the tattoo.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Jesus.
Okay,
I thought I was being really obvious with that one.
Well, fascinating. Okay. No, sometimes you got to be, stupid obvious to me. All right, give me another confession here before we wrap things
All
up.
right, tried to take up fishing. Have always liked how tranquil and relaxing it looked.
Okay.
So I bought some fishing gear, tried it once, and was beyond bored. So I went nearby to one of those little tiny town bars, like the
Okay.
only bar in town instead. And now on some Saturdays, my wife thinks I'm out fishing when I'm actually with some new pals at the bar.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. What an enthusiast.
Right?
That was a joke from the last hour.
I actually don't blame him. It's not great that he's not being honest with his wife, but he originally did this to get some me time, and he found his me time.
That just sounds like a country song. That's not even that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
The
I
things
just.
I'm fishing.
I'm so annoyed by my wife that I'll drive 3 towns over just to get drunk, and then I'll risk driving home drunk and just say I was fishing. Why don't you actually fish too? That's some good me time. I hear fishing is fun. Excellent confession, though. Keep them coming, weirdo at KFMA.com. We're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here because there's another Chupacabra sighting that I want to share with you. Yes, right after music from Stained on Rock 102.1. I knew you'd be excited about that.
Donde.
Yeah, and we're gonna get Derek on too. But I did want to talk about Naked Morning Moron. But let's check back in with Derek. Derek,
You're
what's up?
icing me on Chupacabra news?
What?
No, beef.
Oh, no, that was a tease. I got the Chupacabra thing. I got to get it all set up. And you're still here. Let me hear your levels and stuff. And then, Todd, if you're on the stream, let me know how D's levels sound.
Yeah. How do my levels sound? I want to hear about chupacabras.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna. I'm gonna have all that and stuff. So, I got Derek in his home studio all set up and stuff. Later today, AZ Central's gonna write up a piece or release a piece about returning to KWSS in the afternoons and doing, a hybrid version of this show in Phoenix. Now, of course, Derek lives in Phoenix, right there in the heart of downtown. So, he's going to be a main part of the show because he is literally the man on the street. He could literally walk down to all these venues here in the street. And so there'll be parts of the show that we'll be doing here in the morning that will be played on KWSS in Flagstaff and Phoenix and Mesa. And of course, we'll continue to be doing the morning show down here, and we'll be the only show that is heard all over the great state of Arizona on the radio airwaves. It's a big deal.
On the radio.
That's
Big
awesome.
deal, yeah. So we're looking to kind of grow our crew and our family here, and I'm super excited about it, so.
Dude, the way this is laid out, I feel like I'm part of the Brady Bunch, man.
I know. So
dig this.
that's, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while we get set up for the Chupacabra news, earlier this morning we had a theme for Morning One. Yesterday we talked about a naked man, so today we guess we had to talk about another naked man. In case you missed it, went a little something like this. Check it out.
That man's not naked.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. It's now 6:16 and time for your Morning One. Let's do this. All right, we got a theme this week, boys. Yesterday, we talked about a naked man walked into a store with just a mask on, right? Like a la 2020, but nothing else. They're still on the lookout for that naked man. Maybe it's this naked man, because, again, the theme this week is nudity, apparently, when it comes to our morning morons. There's a police in Kentucky who recently responded to calls about a naked man walking on a highway. Was he hitchhiking? I mean, he had a thumb out, but it wasn't from his hand. All right, anyways, when they found him, a cop asked him what he was up to. And he said he was just going to get some pants.
Going to the pants store.
That's not a bad thing to say in this scenario, right? It's like, it's funny that you caught me here naked. I was actually on my way to get pants.
Yeah.
Right.
I know that it's legal for men not to wear shirts in these parts. It is Kentucky.
Yeah.
But pants, kind of like a no-no. You kind of need that in public. And I was just about to get those. Now, he appeared to be under the influence of something. And when cops confronted him, he became disorderly, repeatedly kicking the door of the patrol car. Now, he was ID'd as James K. King, and he was charged with indecent exposure, public intoxication, and disorderly conduct. He also had 6 outstanding warrants.
Oh.
Yeah, for stuff like public intoxication, criminal trespassing, and indecent exposure, plus possession of drug paraphernalia. So this guy, he never learns, and this guy has nenever found the pants store yet. He continues to wander the highways of Kentucky looking for that damn Levi's store.
It's his curse, man.
Yeah. He's like, every time I'm like, you know what? I forgot to put on pants today. I should go get pants. I'll just walk down the street. It's got to be close by.
I'm going to go buy some. I don't want to carry these other pants home. I don't want these ones anymore. I'm just going to go in like this.
I don't want to ask him where he keeps his cash.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the bad luck of this morning moron. Every time he's in need of pants and stuff, the pants store's always so far away. And he always gets caught before he can even make it to the pants store. So, obviously walking down the highway naked, getting confronted by police and telling them you were on your way to get pants is definitely going to make you a morning moron. A forever celebrity crush of mine, Taylor Momsen, pretty reckless. Goddamn, Taylor Momsen. I feel like I had an opportunity to not only hang out with Taylor Momsen, but I had a weird vibe that that was part of the play. She was, I don't know, in my head, I felt like Taylor Momsen wanted to get with me. That's a legitimate story.
The one that got away?
Sure.
Well, no. So what happened was I interviewed her back in like 2010, 2011, something like that. And we had a great interview. And this is when the Pretty Reckless was just starting up. And, I had a great time. She was playing at Martini Ranch up in Scottsdale, if you remember that place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And with that, what are you looking at? KFMA, Dave?
Yeah, because I have a little story too, but I want to hear yours. So.
All right. So I had this great interview and everything. And then later on, her manager got a hold of me, and he's like, Beef, that was a great interview. Taylor had a really good time with you, and she wanted to invite you out to Martini Ranch so you guys can hang out tonight. And like green room and the whole thing. And at the time, I had a very crazy girlfriend. Surprise, surprise, right? I have a type. And I panicked because I was just like, what if she don't like me in person? And then what if I do this? And what if my girlfriend kills me? And then like a million scenarios rush through my head for the next like couple hours until I just ghost out and don't do it, right? But this will always be the opportunity that I felt like I had. Like I had an opportunity to disappoint Taylor Momsen on so many levels.
So you
I feel
ghosted?
like.
Completely?
Yeah, I didn't show.
Oh, wow.
man.
I know, man. I know.
Damn, dude.
I know.
If I had a time machine, I'd give it to you.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what, Beef, you need this.
Yeah. Because you know what? I tried to get her pregnant.
Good use
I
of
would
it,
try
too.
to get her pregnant. I would not take any precautions at all. I'd be like, come on, screw the career, Taylor
Locking
Momsen.
yourself in.
There's a lot of dummies out there. They do that play. Try to keep a girl forever type move. What's your Taylor Momsen
I just
story?
watched her change her shirt once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's still good.
I was
in
yeah,
person.
You got
I was
closer than
pretty
him.
satisfied. We had an RV at one of the KFMA days for fall balls. I was trying to figure out which one we were on it, and I was right next to the window, and she was next to it, and she was like, I don't know if she was like changing to get on the stage or if it was post, but yeah, changed her shirt right there. And
Boom. So you saw it all. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
You know,
Pretty nice.
if you don't know what that may look like, you could just look up Taylor Momsen on YouTube. Some of her music videos, she's straight up topless.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a G like that. In fact, still one of the best. And I look forward to new music from Taylor Momsen just for the sake of the music videos. All right, let's get into this. BuzzFeed put together this list I found wildly interesting here. And the list is, let's see, made up societal rules that people think we should quit. Okay, so I'm going to go through this list real quick, and yay or nay. So that was the Taylor Momsen story, and yeah, I mean, I normally go for Mills, but she was a smoke show, and it was it was a long time ago. I mean, at the time, I think she was like 19, 20 kind of thing.
That's young.
Yeah, I know. That was another reason, but at the time, I'm like 30. So it wasn't that young at the time that this happened, and a lot of it was in my head for sure. As far as the possibility, I'm sure it just would have been an awkward little photo exchange, and all right, things are coming out. Good to see you. Now get out of here, kind of thing. But in my head, we did it, and that's good enough for
And
me.
that's what counts.
And that's what counts.
Absolutely. And I love how people are debating the key to Weirdo's vagine with this code on the tattoo. With that said, though,
Oh my God.
let's say,
Fantastic.
like up, down, down, B, whatever. Say it's that. What is B? What is A as far as the move in that scenario? Because I know up, and down. That's not a problem.
Right. And
Left,
especially,
right, center.
especially, and remember, you got to be gentle when you're doing the up, down, and circle, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's almost like circle, dot, like when we were growing up as kids. But anyway, I would say B would have to be for maybe a little bite.
I say breathe.
Breathe.
Look at Derek's reaction. The best advice I ever got from lesbian, and this was on this show, right? When doing that is to make sure that you could breathe. There's like a little room there, so you don't want to have your fully enclosed, hoover it. You don't want to hoover it. You want to be able to have breathing room, and that's better for her.
Yes.
It reminds me, because I have
We're
a friend
getting
that
on the
worked
air.
that was on the swim team. He talked about the same thing, having the
Rock on
technique.
2.1 KFMA. Yes.
To come up for air.
I said we're
come
going
up
on
for air.
air. You're like, I'll pause, but I'll keep going.
Keep going. The swimming technique's getting warm
All
out.
right,
People want to know.
We're back here live. Let me tell you about this chupacabra. Let me show you a picture of it first, okay? So this is the chupacabra in question that my former colleagues at Channel 3 up in Phoenix were reacting to. This is from Colorado, and this is a ring cam that, obviously homeowners were baffled when they came across this creature that some people speculated was like a little badger.
It's a badger.
Or
Calm
no.
down.
No,
or,
wait.
Yeah, or even like a baby Colorado Sasquatch or Wolverine or raccoon. No one could really pin down what this creepy creature is. It's a short, grainy video, but just enough to give mystery. They had tiny claws that were reaching out in the dark. Now, I know I had a comment on here. I think it was Nessa or somebody saying, just a hairless coyote. That doesn't look like a coyote to me. That looks like a chupacabra.
Look at
like
the
a
red
badger.
glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Does it have red eyes?
Just trying to figure out why their ring camera's on their roof.
And why it's like fully color like that?
Well, I mean, if you live in that area and there's creepy critters
No,
around
it
there.
looks like stairs leading up to an apartment door.
Yeah, that's an apartment Cooper Cabra.
Yeah.
Chupacabra. Let's hear what Easy Channel 3's had to say about this. Hold on.
This is.
Where was this?
Okay, let me tell you all the fun little details
Look at
of this terrifying creature.
What the hell?
Okay, so this was
I
all
thought this was
caught
gonna
on
be a
video.
ghost.
This was in Pueblo.
No.
This was off of Mohawk Road by the mall. A viewer sent us this video earlier this afternoon. She says she has no.
Look at its arms, dude.
That's
I
like
mean,
half
It's
sloth.
a badger.
Half sloth, half badger.
That
half
looks like
Wolverine.
that looks like a badger that has mange.
I don't
That's
know.
why it's like all
idea.
red.
Look at a badger. It
this
doesn't have
little
long arms like that.
Yes, it does.
No. Badgers. I box badgers. They have a short reach.
Creature is.
Me either. Wait,
She said she has seen it once before during the daytime. She doesn't know what it is. Do you
He's like
guys
a
have
little-
any guesses?
He's like a little badger.
No, see, again, all the chicks
They
say
don't
badger,
believe.
but
They
yeah,
don't believe.
I don't believe it. But I will say the argument that it's not a chupacabra is that this woman has seen this creature in the daytime. Chupacabras don't come out in the daytime. Everybody knows that. They're nocturnal creatures, So. Like
don't
DJ
suck
Serpent
goat
says
blood
that
in the
definitely doesn't
daytime.
look like a badger. Coatimundi is what Jeff thinks it is, but he spelled it all wrong. And we know we have very crazy Coatimundis here. We just did a story of a Coatimundi that a Tucson hiker got attacked by, which I want to see footage of that, which we unfortunately don't have. But I guarantee you it's hilarious and terrifying because this guy's hiking. He comes back to his car. There's Coatimundi right there on his windshield. And he's like, "Hey, Coatimundi, get out my car." Coatimundi grabs the guy's windshield wiper, breaks it off, right? Just to kind of like taunt the guy.
Oh my God.
And he's like, "Get out of here, Coatimundi." And that's when the Coatimundi then jumped towards the hiker and attached himself to his like face and neck and started attacking him.
My God.
Straight out of a horror film, dude.
Yeah.
Now, this Tucson hiker ended up going to the hospital, got rabies shots, the whole nine, and is recovering, and probably will not hike in that region or anywhere ever again. And this happens right here in our very own backyard. But I know what a rabid Coatimundi looks like, and it doesn't look like that chupacabra right there. That looks like a chupacabra, right? You still on the chupacabra team?
Me? Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
It's either
No.
one of two things, AI or chupacabra.
And it's not AI.
Then it's the chupacabra.
Yeah, I ran it through my AI detection system, and yeah.
Chupacabrachecker.com.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I did.
So, Taco thinks it's an anteater, but
No.
they only have
I'm not an
anteaters in
anteater.
Colorado.
It didn't have a snout.
Yeah, it didn't even have a snout, dude. Yeah, had long hands. It's throwing up gang signs. It's obvious.
There's,
it's a
weird,
chupacabra.
there's weirdly goat bones near him. Yeah, all right, fine.
Red glowing eyes.
Yeah, I mean, but the demon eyes wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you name this monster?
Ted.
All right. Ted the chupacabra.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. What would you
Chester.
name it? Chester, the molester chupacabra. As if a chupacabra wasn't terrifying enough, hide it from your kids. All right, Derek, what would you name this chupacabra?
I'm not sure that's not my buddy Jeff wearing a cheesehead hat going through somebody's trash out there in the dark.
All right, so Colorado Jeff with cheesehead hat. Fair enough. All right. Now, if that didn't blow your mind, which probably didn't, and that's fine, there are a couple underwater discoveries that happened this week that literally have freaked me out. Okay, so let me start with this. Okay, I'll just read the headline before I get into the information. Underwater volcano found to be covered with thousands of giant eggs. Did you see this?
No.
Okay, so scientists were exploring an underwater volcano off of Canada's Pacific coast, which is our Pacific coast as well. And they made some surprising discoveries. They found an ancient volcano, once thought to be inactive, is actually still very active and releasing warm fluids into the surrounding waters. But with that, they also found that the volcano was covered with up to 1 million large eggs. Don't know what the F those eggs are. Don't want to find out.
You want aliens? This is how we get aliens.
Right. Is this not aliens already? Like, so if you're looking, this reminds me of the movie Cocoon in a way, right? Or even Aliens.
Yeah, with the cocoon.
Yeah, so you have what they thought was a dormant volcano underwater is active, and it's releasing warm fluids. It makes it a great breeding ground for large
Warm.
eggs,
Right.
whales.
Oh my God, it's the nest of krakens we've been looking for. This is going to be
The krakens.
awful.
What's the krakens?
the
Kraken.
kraken?
Oh, the kraken.
You know about chupacabras. You got to know what the kraken is.
I don't know about the kraken. Yeah. So
That is terrifying now. Where's it? Off Canada's coast?
sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
off the coast of Canada.
Christ.
It's off the Pacific coast. It's right like
Is this their tariff negotiation tactic they've been sitting on this whole time?
Right.
yeah, well, pretty much.
We got Godzillas.
Yeah, they still don't know. I mean, I'm looking through all the information, and it just says giant eggs. You look at the giant eggs, and you don't know. She explained that the eggs belong to the Pacific white skate, but I don't believe that. They're giant. So, yeah, still, that's terrifying, and that happened underwater, but that wasn't the only underwater discovery this week. Here's the next headline. Underwater pyramid found off coast of Taiwan, thought to be 12,000 years old. This is another case of a pyramid and an underwater civilization to be discovered. Of course, everyone's like, was this Atlantis? But no one says that right now in this scenario. But it just goes to show these pyramids, and there's so many of them still not discovered on this planet. It was the Yonaguni Monument, an underwater formation off Japan's Ryukyu Islands that's back in the news. Located about 82 feet below sea level, a structure features angular steps, terraces, and megaliths that resemble human-made architecture. It's confirmed as man-made, is what they're saying. It could date back over 10,000 years, predating Egypt's pyramids and the Stonehenge.
Well, and the fact that it's only 82 feet below water, right? Like the water level. Like it's not like it's super deep. So yeah, like some kind of natural disaster must have happened and flooded an area and then boom, gone.
Why do I feel like these last two stories are connected somehow?
That's what I put them together. We got giant eggs. We got Godzilla growing in Canada. We got pyramids in Japan.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Maybe it's the home base of these underwater creatures.
My mind is still trying to comprehend what we just discovered with the Egyptian pyramids, with the underground giant towers.
Yeah, because
Right.
that goes
Still
down
thinking about
almost
that.
miles, dude. Yeah, and the mystery of the Egyptian pyramids, which scientists thought they had pegged for quite some time.
Right.
It's like, wait a second, actually, we're barely scratching the surface on this.
It's like we just used a Timu seismograph and we found these now.
Yeah.
This whole time you guys didn't do that? What?
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
I thought you did. I assumed as a kid you
We've
did
had
all
the
that.
technology.
Right.
They're just too lazy
You
about
predicted
it.
earthquakes, but you didn't see a giant
Tower.
tower underneath. Okay.
Yeah. All right. We're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. You can join us youtube.com/pvegan. We got headlines and more coming up after music from Jimmy World on Rock 102.1.
You had 5 Costco's underneath there. We didn't notice this before?
No, I mean, it is wild about the whole pyramids thing, right? Like, that is like the most common ancient structure all across the world.
Yeah, we got him in Mexico.
You
Wonder
know
of
what
the
I
world.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's either, again, people can come up with the same ideas and not have any interaction. I totally get that. But, like, that to me is just, when we talk about ancient civilizations, it's like, no, this planet was populated off-world.
Yeah.
I still love going down rabbit holes of ancient hidden history, like Göbekli Tepe and all that.
This is actually in the wheelhouse of Derek, and Derek is co-host, host History's Greatest Idiots, right? And so I'm sure you guys kind of covered one of these topics at one point or another. Am I wrong?
Pyramids?
Yeah.
We did that whole thing on like ancient Egypt and stuff. Some pharaoh.
Yeah. So what did you know? Who's the ancient idiot pharaoh that you guys talked about?
Well, see, what I do is I'm the idiot on the show, and I just
Right.
crack jokes, and he teaches me stuff, and then I immediately forget it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's why I can't take your job, because I'm that guy here.
Yeah.
That's how I am with my historian buddy. I'm like the idiot. I'm like, that's cool, man. I don't know what that means.
Hey, did you see this reel?
For a while, I'd try to present stuff like I knew what I was talking about, and then I just felt like extra stupid when people would like, "Hey, where'd you get that info?" And I'm like, "ChatGPT." So
Just saying.
yeah, can't use that.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, speaking of silly info and videos, here's our viral video of the day I want to share real quick.
Watch the guy.
All right. So hold on. I got to do two shapes that look the same. Let's see if I can pass this test. Damn.
What's your podcast name, Derek? Because Patrick's asking.
History's Greatest Idiots.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's a fantastic podcast too. Okay, look at this real quick, and it's available on Spotify and everywhere you view podcasts. All right, so check this out. Okay, this guy posted this poster saying, come and watch me fold a fitted sheet on my own outside the Taco Bell on Cuban Street, April 7th at 1 p.m.
I love these.
Right.
Stupid.
Right, but it's like, you're gonna fold the fitted sheet on your own. That's impossible if you're a dude, right? So this guy, he made this event, and did people show up? Oh boy, did they!
did.
Check this out.
Sheet.
Look at that.
That's awesome. Oh.
You're like, see, it's fitted.
So stupid.
Holy sheet. That is amazing.
Watch the guy.
It didn't even seem like it was that good of a fold.
Oh my God, I want to do this.
That's
Let's give me
amazing.
something just real dumb to do and just like post that all around town.
That's not a bad idea. Watch Weirdo fold a fitted sheet. I think would get our audience
Well,
kind of
like,
excited.
yeah, what other mundane task could I be given to do just like in, like, I don't know, we'll just pick Reed Park, Ramada this at this time.
Well,
Boil
no, I mean,
water?
Boil water, okay.
no,
Come on,
because
that's boring as hell.
No, look, the thing is, everyone knows how to boil water just by turning it on high, but not everyone knows how to fold a fitted sheet. That's what made that so impressive, and I would just say take that guy's idea, because legitimately,
I do know how to fold a fitted sheet.
Do you?
I
You
do.
just roll it up like this, right?
No.
No, dummy. Nah. All right, real quick. Earlier this morning, we did a round of the last word, sore loser rules, and it did not disappoint. In case you missed it, it went a little something like this. Check it out. Rock 102.1 KFMA. You saw this 911 dispatcher story, right, Rico?
I was laughing.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, apparently some guy, there's the break-in happening in his house with his family.
Oh, so this is an emergency.
It's an emergency. But I don't know. It said something about him calling the non-emergency line. It doesn't matter. Either way, he called, and the dispatcher was apparently distracted because they were ordering McDonald's.
Yeah, I actually have audio. This guy was obviously upset. I have audio of this call so you could hear it, and you'll listen closely and see if we can pick up on what the dispatcher was ordering from McDonald's.
This Valentine's Day, Dylan Johnson started his morning by calling 911.
My wife called me while I was at work at about 9:30.
I thought I had it queued up right to the call, but yeah, this is part of the news report talking about it. It's a
More
big deal in
context.
Georgia. Yeah, here we go.
And said someone, was snooping around the house, knocking on the doors, banging on the windows and stuff.
He called the county's non-emergency line first, followed by 911 3 times, finally getting an answer by 9:31 after trying for about 6 minutes, according to his phone's call log.
So I was panicking because, my wife is home alone with my 5-month-old daughter. And I was, coming home, not knowing what I was going to come home to.
After about 3 minutes into Johnson's 911 call, you can hear the dispatcher talking to others around her and appearing to order breakfast. WTOC investigates, obtain the 911 call.
Hey, Gretel. I'm sorry, what?
Johnson says he was stunned by what he heard.
Yeah, how pissed would you be in this
To
situation?
be
my
fair,
God.
McGriddles are delicious.
They are.
She
but-
had a breakfast emergency, too.
Yeah, she
you know.
did. She had
Yeah,
hunger.
she didn't even know. I mean, obviously, this dispatcher didn't even know that they brought back their bagel breakfast sandwiches, which involves that steak and egg bagel, which, 10 out of 10 for sure. Yeah.
You're not you when you're hungry, beef.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys have all the jokes. I'm pissed. I'm like, F this lady 100%. Like, you are a 911 dispatcher. Like, that, I get it. That job can kind of feel mundane, especially if you're like in a smaller area or whatever.
It's traumatizing.
I totally get that. But like, you're literally holding people's lives in your freaking phone calls. Like, come on.
In their defense, only the wife died in this scenario. The baby did make it out alive, so that's good.
Did she really die?
No.
Oh, it's like that's even worse, man. The fact
All right, so we interrupt that. That was the 911 call. Obviously, not the last word. That's how I did that. But
It's the best McDonald's commercial in a while.
I know, and I did try on my diet. I did try the bacon egg the steak egg and cheese bagel sandwich at McDonald's the other weekend because when I saw it came back, it just brought back memories. I'm like, I gotta have that, and
I've never had one.
it's good. Well, they did change up the steak. I will tell you that much. So if it's not going to be like how you remembered, but you never had one, so you don't remember anything. So that's good. Rock 102.1 Camp, man. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're hanging out here on the podcast broadcast. I got some headlines to go. Obviously, we come across so much news each and every day. Sometimes we have just enough time to give you the headlines. That's what this is. So with that said, let me ask you this question. Which fast food joint do you think has the unhealthiest burger? I'll ask you, Rico, first.
Carl's Jr. I don't know why. I just feel like that would
Okay,
be a
going
good
Carl's
choice.
Jr. That's a good answer.
That's my guess.
You're going to piggyback on Rico's answer.
No, that was the first thing that popped in my head. I said Carl's Jr. 100%.
Okay. And Derek, what do you think?
I gotta go with Jack in the Box.
Jack in the
That's
Box.
a good one.
Yeah, that's always a good one, too. Well, all of you are wrong. According to this, the unhealthiest fast food cheeseburger is the one at Five Guys. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should have known that.
Yeah.
I eat there all the time.
Greasy, delicious.
So good.
It's good. It is good. But it is unhealthiest. The runners up are Smash Burger and Whataburger, and then Carl's Jr. is fourth place, actually.
Whoa.
So, yeah, you guys were off.
Blowing my mind.
Jack in the Box didn't even make the list there, Derek. Be ashamed. Very ashamed.
Put on
All
a
right.
dunce hat.
In Washington earlier this week, a man was arrested after he stole his ex's pet chicken. He allegedly screamed, "I've got Polly," before running away with it. Is this the pettiest ex story that you've ever ever heard of? Or if you were to steal anything from your ex to be petty like this man, what would it be?
Oh my God. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
To him, I'm thinking like, how am I going to top that?
Yeah, there's your emotional sport chicken,
Right.
and also I'm gonna have breakfast
Free
now.
eggs.
Yeah, free eggs
Yeah.
for sure. So this is a way, and they know it was him because he shouted out, "I got Polly." He wasn't a ninja about it. So, we talked about butt smuggling already. Now the government sweeping terrorists may have a price of Bibles. Oh, speaking of terrorists, now obviously the president walked back the tariffs or put a 90-day pause on it yesterday. Everything is just. It's going back and forth. A lot of questions.
Yes.
Yeah. An expert says that if Apple was forced to make iPhones in America because the tariffs on China still stand and we are very much in a trade war with China,
Right.
which obviously a lot of major American companies like Nike, Apple, everything on technology, all those parts come from China.
Right.
So they said if this is going to be enforced, iPhones in America will cost as much as $3,500 a piece.
So they'll go from like $1,100, $1,200 to $3,500.
Yes, and that's the starting price. That's before getting any of the pros. So
I know they've been talking about like doing different manufacturing plants in like Indonesia and Vietnam, but yeah, obviously the main goal is to head to America, and those prices are going to be a little high.
Yeah,
And people will pay them still probably.
Yeah, I'm saying bring
Right.
back the Nokia phone. If you got any
Right.
old Nokias around there, plug that bitch back in. If it still works, let's go Nokia. We might be going into the Nokia age. Bring back the snake.
I have a Nokia bulletproof vest already.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, that's my goal after my phone crashes. I'm going back more analog. I don't want a smartphone anymore. I want
Honestly-
to be able to separate it. Like if I'm on the internet, then I'm on my laptop. If I'm on my phone, just texting and phone calls.
If the tariffs and the trade wars does affect our technology like this, I do see that as a possible trend and one that probably would not necessarily be a negative one.
Well, it's already trending. Gen Zers, a lot of kids in their 20s, like they are going for the flip phones.
That's because they're broke, though. But I'm saying
Not
like a trend
necessarily.
amongst other people that aren't
They're
broke.
90s maxing on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, you're like a growing trend amongst the homeless is that they're staying hungry. That's crazy.
No,
They're dedicated.
because those cell phone programs, they do get the free smartphones. No, these are
thanks,
people
Obama.
making conscious decision of going back and separating to kind of make their lives a little more simple.
All right.
And not just doom scrolling.
I would not mind going back to a landline phone. Like the whole slamming of the phone on the wall.
Yeah,
I
slamming
do
on the
miss
phone's
that.
fun, but I'm not going back to watching porn on something that's not a handheld device. So not today, not ever.
Oh, then I can't get rid of my phone. Crap.
Exactly. All right, let's keep the conversation moving on to podcast broadcast. We'll wrap things up with the beef tip, which is very weirdo-centric. 4th household products that you can use as lube. All right, that's coming up after these words. Rock 102.1 KFMA.
I'm so glad you think of me so much.
Well, you
It
know,
makes me happy.
I'm doing a show. I saved this. I was going to do it yesterday, but then I did recall that Kendall is an HR manager, and I was like, we'll save this
Maybe
for
not.
tomorrow because Rico doesn't cringe so easily. Derek is a swinger. This
Having
guy.
an HR manager
Super
on the
neat
show
to
is
learn
like
some stuff.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
That's how excited he is.
I
He
feel
just-
like you took that challenge of having an HR manager on the show, though. You're like, that's a good challenge.
It is.
We'll see. We'll see if I can survive this.
100%. You know, like how long can I keep her on before she's like, you know, fuck this.
Yeah, I gotta
You're
go.
ruining my life. Yeah. So,
Amazing.
but in a way, you know, and not even in a direct way, to have Kendall on sometimes is a great kind of way to kind of keep the checks and balances as we're attempting to. Obviously, we keep it real, you know, and we like to have fun, but also we're trying to, you know, compete with all these other shows and be safe for some people to listen to the car with their kids during certain times. 9 o'clock hour, not that time. Podcast broadcast, not that time. I reserve the right to be raunchous.
Raunchy?
That sounds good.
Raunchous?
Derek, you're too high for
You're
that.
like Shakespeare.
yeah.
It's a new word, raunchous.
Yeah. I don't want to make up words, you know.
poetic.
I mean, I just got told 2 days ago that like somebody really appreciates me being on here because typically it tends to be a bit of a bro fest as I'm
Yes.
surrounded by 3 dudes. But like,
What else is new?
I know, right? I was like, damn, I walked into that one.
Yeah.
But the fact that like I can come on here and give that balance, or Mari gives that balance, Kendall gives that balance. So you know, we do keep you in check, but also like I feel like I am the one that is the most guilty of like also like throwing the kerosene on the flames. Like, come on, buddy, let's do this.
Yeah. No, sometimes you're the dirtiest for sure in a bunch where I'm like, weirdo, you're making my butt clench. Yes, but no, that's what the whole crew's for, right? We have a representation from all different types. So, and we'll continue to grow that as I'm looking through here. I'm just seeing if we have that.
TM, make sure you TM the word raunchous, though, because it's a mix between righteous and raunchy.
Yeah,
It's
It's perfect. It's poetic.
Well, then
I'll do it
I
then.
have ignorant. I call it poetic justice. I've always had poetic justice, meaning that you know I make up words out of my own ignorance that you know describe a way that I feel, and I just call it's poetic justice. This is the way that I feel. This is the way I describe it. Yo, it's not a word that's an actual word. Well, it is now. Slang. You know, I am a staunch believer. That you know most slang is really just birthed out of ignorance as well. So you know.
Bet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for saying great show already, Jeff. And we're not even done yet, but I do want to do that last word here.
Oh, it's in Urban Dictionary
Oh,
already. Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, raunchous.
Okay.
Grimy and disgusting, but for good purpose.
Oh my
That it can
God.
be viewed as positive or
Put
beneficial.
Beef
Yeah.
Vegan's freaking picture right next to that.
Dude, I'm on it.
Boom.
Yeah. See, I knew that though. So, you know, that's a
Synonym poopy person. What?
cinnamon is poopy person?
No. Synonym. You know, like the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
words that, poopy person. Poopy people. Raunchous.
That's funny.
Raunchous.
Poopy, you're a poopy man.
Yeah.
Poop in your mouth.
All of
Ron
it checks
Burgundy.
out. All of it checks out. Okay, here's the last word from this morning. Your beef tip's coming up right after this. Stick around. All this week, we're giving you an opportunity to win tickets for Breaking Benjamin in 3 days grace before those tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. So you can see them live October 8th up at Desert Diamond Casino Arena on the west side up in Phoenix. And I want to play a game. A lot of information to trip over this morning. Let's meet our contestants. On line 1, we have Tiffany. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning.
On line 2, we have Zach. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning.
All right, so we're going to play around to the last word. It's very simple. It's a verbal hot potato game. All right, we're going to start off with one caller after a category. You're going to give an answer. The other caller's going to give an answer back. You guys are going to go back and forth giving acceptable answers. Whoever gets the last acceptable answer in before the 30-second clock runs out will win the round. Best of 3 will technically be our winner, but sore loser rules will be applied today, meaning the loser will decide the winner's fate. whether I give these tickets to the winner or hang up on both of you and give the tickets out to caller number 69, which gives the loser a second opportunity to win. You both I explain the rules, you both understand, correct?
Yep.
All right, let's get into it. 30 seconds on the clock will begin when I finish asking this first question. Tiffany, you're up first. Here we go. Name something you could say while brushing your teeth that would make everyone in the bathroom slowly leave. Go.
Fart?
You're going to say fart. Okay. I would
That is weird.
Yeah, all right. Zach.
I don't remember eating broccoli.
Okay. Tiffany.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I don't know.
You got this, Tiffany. I believe in you.
Oh, God. I don't know.
The brain fart. I'm going to give you a couple answers. Number one answer's on the board. Oh, I didn't know I had a gag reflex. Or, you know, there's a bunch of other dirty ones, yeah. All right, so, Zach, you got the first round, and now the pressure is on. Tiffany, I believe in you, but you got to step it up and get this round to stay in the game. Zach, 30 seconds on the clock will begin when I finish asking this question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Name a weird reason you would get kicked out of a funeral. Go.
Showed up in my Speedo.
Showed up in a Speedo. Okay, Tiffany.
Dressed up like Batman.
Okay, Zach.
Kept high-fiving the man in the coffin.
All right, Tiffany.
Bumping and grinding the one in the coffin.
There you go. Yes, Zach. Bumping and grinding.
Found me taking a nap with their uncle.
All right, Tiffany. Oh, nap with the uncle. Is that a strong enough answer?
Unless maybe the uncle's the one in the coffin.
Now, unfortunately, the time did run out. Number one answer on the board would have been groping the corpse, but with the score 2-0, looks like Zach easily was the winner on the last word. Now, this was a very difficult game for you, Tiffany. And now the decision is up to you, okay? Do you feel like you got screwed over in this game? Was it a little too difficult and too early in the morning for you to play this game?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so do you feel like, you deserve another opportunity to win these tickets to Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, the decision is Rock yours. 2.1 KFMA, welcome back to BVG Presents. This is what happened right the last now. word here. Now, will I give these tickets to Zach, or will I hang up on both of you and give them out to caller number 69, which could be you? Your call, Tiffany.
We've become such good friends. Hang up on us. Come on.
Yeah, so that was Tiffany having no love for the winner, Zach, and the last word, so those are rules today. Tomorrow morning, you're going to get an opportunity to win tickets for Breaking Ben in the 8 o'clock hour. We're almost out of time. I'd like to thank everyone for listening, of course, but here's your beef tip before we wrap things up. Here are 4 household products that you can sub as lube, because lube can be expensive, especially with these tariffs, man.
Right.
I know that we import our lube. So CBD oil, it's effective. In fact, actually, many lube manufacturers are starting to incorporate this for many different health purposes. So
Very clean, all natural.
absolutely, coconut or / olive oil.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you think you cook in the bedroom, add some ingredients.
I would
Mamma
suggest
mia.
coconut oil over the olive oil, though.
Fair enough. Unless you're Italian, I'd go for olive oil. Aloe vera. Aloe vera.
Really?
Yeah, it's not just good for your sunburns. It is quick drying, so it might not have the staying power.
I would say no.
So just keep doing that. And then shea butter. Shea butter, they
Yes.
say.
What about Vicks Vapor Rub?
Don't use that.
Don't use it? Okay.
Yeah, that's another beep tip. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/bevegan. Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Just in the nick of time, dude. I'm just like squeezing it in there. You know what? Vicks Vapor Rub is, We're not done yet. All right, so it says it should be stressed that none of these options are good if condoms are involved, and they'll break down the condom and ruins the effectiveness. It's also important to know that some household items make horrible lubricants, such as Vaseline, honey, soaps, shampoo, butter, and Vicks Vapo Rub.
I like how they included that.
Yeah,
You idiots.
They have to put a Surgeon General's warning on it. Yes,
Preparation H
100%.
as well. Do not.
Yes. Do not do. Even though Preparation H does seem like it's a 2-in-1. You know what I mean? It's a preventative.
Right.
No.
You're going to get hemorrhoids unless. All right.
No.
All right,
You're
well,
welcome.
What a way to end a show. Thanks. Yeah. And I don't know where you're DMing me, Patrick, but I haven't been seeing it. So if you're DMing the Beef Vegan page, I'll check it out and I'll get back to you. But, of course, I can't just, chat the entire show as I'm going there, too. So just want to set that up, Sometimes when you DM, Pat, you're like commenting on things we're saying on the radio, which is good, and I don't have time to stop and respond to everything while we're doing that. But it's nothing but love. All right, that's all the time that we have. Derek, good talking with you as always. And yes, we're gonna get ready for a great show tomorrow. Might even pop you in after the Black Moods tomorrow because you seem you're just like bored as shit. You're just sitting there.
Dude, I'm just enjoying being here and hanging
He's
out with
vibing.
you guys and listening. Like, it's a good time to be able to listen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we'll get into Derek's swinger stories here eventually as well, too.
Yeah, yes, we will. Please do.
Yeah, because now we got a poly princess, and then we got a swinger Sam, so, I
Rico,
mean,
get
shit.
kinky. Do something kinky. Come on.
dude. Just
Jesus.
bone. All right, we're out of here. Thank you guys for watching the stream. We'll see you tomorrow.